Also, the American Psychiatric Association has a 10-point checklist to determine if someone has an alcohol use disorder. Let me ask you this question, Cal. Did you ever think or realize that you were drinking too much and you had a desire to stop?
Yes.
And did you have that feeling for many months, different phases of your life?
For sure.
So according to the American Psychiatric Association, just because you answered yes to 2 of those 10 questions, you were experiencing a mild alcohol use disorder. Let that sink in. Because I would submit most people are drinking considerably more than what you were ever drinking. Most people are pouring themselves a bottle of wine each night and thinking it's no big deal, or going out and having a couple of drinks each night. No big deal. I'm fine. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not waking up in a ditch. Well, according to the American Psychiatric Association, you already have at least a mild alcohol use disorder. And according to what we now know about modern science, that is compromising your brain. It's definitely affecting your sleep. And when your sleep is affected, that causes what? Irritability, frustration. You snap at your wife or your husband. You're not as present with your kids. You're tired and lethargic, so you reach for a sugary food to give you a little bit of an energy boost.
Oh, yeah, I used to love that.
Now you put on a few more pounds from the extra calories. Now you start to feel a little bit more irritable. Maybe you're a little envious of other people. Now you're exhausted by mid-afternoon. And what do you start doing? Dreaming about having a drink so you can relieve yourself of the irritability and stress and anxiety that drinking has been causing.
Absolutely. I was in that loop for a while. Yeah, it's so interesting too, because for me, I've always been lean, kind of no matter like if I was in the depths of drinking a decent amount or not, but where it showed up was my face. And I didn't realize it until I stopped drinking. And it was like my face got back to like match the rest of my body. It's like I had a fat face. Holy shit. Bloated and pasty. And
I'm going to show you a photo. You keep talking. I'm going to get a photo in my phone here.
Yes.
I'm going to show you my before photo, Cal.
So tell me this, do people come into the program strictly to be alcohol free? Like if someone wanted to come in and they wanted to be cannabis free, is there like, how do they go about that?
Yeah. So to be clear, we only support people with alcohol.
Yeah.
So we don't have a program or organization to help them with those other things like cannabis, etc. But the same system, the same process will absolutely work for them. And so, yeah, it's just strictly helping folks get off alcohol.
And so okay, got it. I'm sure there's some element, of a handful of those folks have an interesting relationship with alcohol too, so they could kind of piggyback.
How do you feel like your life has transformed or improved by simply removing alcohol?
Well, you hit on this, but sleep is number one. And I think a lot of people, the one thing I do want to follow up on is this. I want to dispel this notion of functioning, because I think a lot of people think that they're functioning, and they are, but just not nearly at a level where they really could be.
Yeah.
And so sleep is number one. And then as you were saying, like great sleep begets like a great day.
I found my before photo, Cal. You want to see it?
Yes. No way. Good God.
That's crazy, huh?
Oh my gosh.
I was puffy. I was like I call this the marshmallow man photo. And you can see it's just mediocrity, right? It's like puffy face, carrying extra weight, bags under the eyes, crow's feet.
Yeah.
Just mediocre. Not rock bottom.
Nope.
Mediocre. Average.
Yep. Functioning.
Yeah. Functioning. Yeah.
The irritability was a big thing. Not that I still can get irritable, but like the irritability, one of the biggest things was it being on the top of my priority list. When am I going to get to get home after work, put the Red Sox on, and have a couple of these nice Belgian ales? When can I have that? Like, it's Saturday. college football's on, it's 11, like I'll have a beer. And it's just like, it was always about when can I have that next drink? And it wasn't me drinking 24 beers on a Saturday, but it was me just, when am I going to get that next hit? It was so prevalent, and I got so used to it that I didn't realize it was controlling so much of what I was going to do. Where are me and the guys going out tonight? Like everything was about that. And when you zoom out and you step away from, kind of that avatar, you start to realize you were sleeping like shit. You were eating like shit, acting like kind of a dick. You were avoiding, time with your kids so you could sleep off a hangover. And it was like all the things that, I would say I'm not proud of it. It was part of my journey to realize that that's not the way.
Drinking alcohol is a time suck and a money drain. In relation to the time suck, think about all the time that you've been thinking about drinking, preparing for drinking, recuperating from drinking, judging your drinking, thinking about drinking, preparing for drinking, recuperating from drinking, judging your drinking, and so the cycle continues. Think about how much time that occupies in your mind. So much time.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a lot. And the consequences of that is self-confidence, trust in yourself, shame, regret, fear, uncertainty. Imagine if you eliminated all of that. What would be left? Well, what would be left is you get to live your life and you get to create that business that you've been dreaming of, or you get to make those extra sales calls at the end of the day, which results in another $100,000, $200,000 in revenue. You get to be more present with your kids who are drifting away from you because mum and dad aren't present with them anymore. How's that going to show up in their life? On and on and on and on it goes. So it occupies so much time in our minds, and the consequences of that is a lack of productivity, lack of connection with our husband or wife or our friends or our colleagues or our boss or our children. We procrastinate, we kick the can down the road. We don't sleep great. So we feel kind of like blah the next day, and feeling blah the next day makes us take certain actions. It's frightening. And I always say this to business owners especially. Your drinking habits are probably costing you millions of dollars. Even if you drink 2 drinks a night, most nights of the week, that's enough to disrupt your sleep. You wake up a little irritable, a little tired. Now you don't fire that person in your business, or you don't hire that person. You procrastinate on that strategic decision. You don't open up that other revenue stream. You don't make one additional sales call at the end of the day, which if one sales call, or rather if you made 5 additional sales calls per week, if one of those turned into a deal, that could be $20,000 depending on your business over the course of a year. You're looking at, $500,000, whatever it is in your business. There's a real tangible leaving money on the table when you are not operating at a 9 out of 10. You may not be rock bottom. You may not be what society refers to as an alcoholic, but you know that you're operating at a 5 or a 6 out of 10. And the difference between operating at a 5 and a 6 out of 10 and an 8 or 9 out of 10 can be millions of dollars. Especially if you're heading for a divorce. You know how expensive divorces can be?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And again, you don't even have to be having these shouting matches with your wife or your husband because of alcohol. It can just be you're not present with your husband or wife because of alcohol. And that's enough for the drift to get you. That's enough for you to head for divorce. That's very expensive. And then you got the consequences on the children. So many of my clients who come to me who are in their 50s and 60s lament the fact that they are no longer present with their adult children. To me, the definition of success is your kids wanting to spend time with you, wanting to take your call, wanting to phone you. Oof. But when you've been drinking for 30, 40 years, not as an alcoholic, but just consistently, and the mediocrity of life has got you, Your kids see that. They experience that. They don't want to spend time with you. That is crippling.